The lawyer's voice was steady, but the words ripped through me like glass. The lake house, as per the codicil, shall pass to David and Claire Hart jointly. I froze. The same lake house where I'd nursed my grandfather through his final days. The same lake house he had promised, in his own handwriting, would be mine. My father leaned back smugly, my sister's practiced smile never slipping, but what they didn't know was that I had a box. Ugly, heavy black plastic, full of every receipt, every chart note, every trembling signature. And today, their performance was about to unravel. My name is Rachel Carter. I'm 35 years old, and if you ask me about family, well, my answer depends on which half you mean. There was my grandfather, Robert Carter, who taught me that failure was just tuition, the price you pay for real lessons. He was warmth, laughter, the person who never doubted me, and then there were my father and my sister. Cold, calculating, selective in their love, like it was a privilege you had to earn. Growing up, my father rarely spoke to me except to point out my flaws. If I offered an idea at the dinner table, he'd cut me off mid-sentence. Rachel, stop talking nonsense. Claire's got the right head for these things. Claire, my older sister. The golden one, the achiever. Or at least, the actress who could play the part perfectly. She knew how to smile in just the right way, how to echo my father's opinions, how to shine in the roles he scripted for her. I, on the other hand, was cast as the problem. The dreamer who never finished anything. The burden. The backup plan. Even when I tried to help, bringing groceries, covering unpaid bills, it was shrugged off like background noise. If Claire set a single fork on the holiday table, Dad would beam at her. You always know how to take charge. Meanwhile, I had been the one who cooked the meal. I learned early that protest was useless. So I started documenting instead. My grandfather was the only one who saw me clearly. When my startup collapsed in my late 20s, I thought I was ruined. He looked me in the eye and said, "Failure is tuition, Rachel. You paid the fee. Now use the lesson." When my marriage ended, he told me, "You're not broken. You're free to choose again." He never raised his voice, never compared me to Claire. He only reminded me that worth wasn't measured in applause. And when his health began to decline, I was the one who showed up. I drove him to every appointment. I stayed overnight when the machines beeped endlessly. I held cups of water to his lips when his hands shook too badly. Claire, she posted polished updates in the family group chat, usually from a vacation or business dinner. My father, he sent clipped texts like, "Rachel can handle it." I did handle it, not because they told me to, but because he was my grandfather. Because he had always shown up for me. One winter afternoon, as I helped him settle into bed, he squeezed my hand. His voice was weak but firm. "The lake house will be yours, Rachel. You've earned it." You understand what it means to care for family, not just perform for them? Those words carved themselves into my chest like stone. When he passed, grief tangled with dread. I knew my father. I knew Claire. They wouldn't accept me having something they wanted, and I was right. The morning of the will reading, I got a text from my aunt. "Don't get your hopes up." The attorney's office smelled of lemon polish and old paper. My father leaned toward Claire, whispering like a coach before a victory lap. I sat alone, my bag heavy with hospital receipts and printouts of every email my grandfather had sent me. The lawyer began with the original will, specific bequest to charity, a scholarship fund, and then the line I knew was coming. "The lake house shall pass to my granddaughter, Rachel Carter." Relief swept through me, but then came the second folder, a codicil, dated April 12th, executed when my grandfather could barely grip a pen. It revoked the lake house clause, leaving everything, the house, the land, the residue of the estate, to my father and Claire as joint tenants. The room buzzed with quiet congratulations. My father leaned back, smug. Claire smiled forward, polished as ever. But I wasn't smiling, because I knew where I had been on April 12th. I had been holding a cup of water to my grandfather's lips while the nurse charted Patient sedated for imaging. Tremors noted. There was no way he could have signed that paper with clear intent, and I was ready. Silence sat heavy in that conference room after the codicil was read. Everyone else seemed content to accept it. I was not. I wrote one word in my notebook. April 12th, dates don't lie, even when people do. That night, I spread everything out on my kitchen table. The black accordion folder gaped open, stuffed with documents. Pharmacy receipts, clinic badges, parking stubs, emails my grandfather sent, especially the one that read, "The lake house will be Rachel's. She knows the caretaker. Keep the taxes current." I called 2 neighbors who had brought casseroles to the porch during those final months. "Would you sign a witness statement?" I asked, voice steady. They did. They even attached time-stamped photos. My car parked in the driveway at dawn. I requested medical records. The doctor's letter was blunt. After March, patient exhibited significant fine motor impairment. Tremors, inconsistent grip, fatigue. I compared his signature from March birthday cards, the loops lighter, the ink trailing off, to the sharp strokes on the codicil. Wrong rhythm. Wrong hand. I wasn't just grieving anymore. I was preparing for battle. The next morning, I requested a private meeting with the estate attorney, Mr. Langley. He sat at the head of the table, glasses perched on his nose. My father and Claire flanked him like a united front. "I'll be brief," I said, laying out the timeline. April 12th, chart note, sedated for imaging. Letter from Dr. Wilson. Grip compromised after March. Compare that to this codicil signature. Claire's jaw tightened, but she stayed silent. My father scoffed. "He changed his mind, Rachel. Maybe he realized you never finish anything." I slid across the March birthday card. The shaky loops, the fading tail, then pointed to the codicil's crisp strokes. "If he changed his mind," I said evenly, "the paper would match. It doesn't." I turned to the attorney. "Where are the witness addresses? Where's the notary journal entry for April 12th? Why is there no time of execution listed? These omissions aren't small. They're fatal." Mr. Langley shifted uncomfortably. "Given these discrepancies, I'll have to suspend distribution and notify the probate court." The smug confidence drained from my father's face. Claire's practiced smile cracked. "You're embarrassing the family," she hissed. "No," I replied. "The family embarrassed itself. I'm rescuing the truth. Probate court isn't glamorous. The walls are beige, the chairs squeak, the fluorescent lights buzz. But for me, it felt like an arena. My father and Claire walked in polished, armed with practiced sorrow. I walked in with a bulging accordion file and a spine made of steel. I laid it all out. Emails in my grandfather's voice, naming me. Certified medical notes showing his incapacity on April 12th. Witness statements from neighbors. Time-stamped photos. The birthday card with his fading loops. The judge leafed through the codicil. No notary stamp, no time of execution. She frowned. My father's lawyer muttered excuses about oversight. Claire dabbed her eyes with a tissue, claiming, "Grandpa wanted harmony, but harmony doesn't need forged signatures. Harmony doesn't require missing witnesses." When the judge spoke, her words were final. "The codicil is invalid. The original will stand. The lake house passes to Rachel Carter." The ruling hit my father like a slap. His face flushed crimson, but he said nothing. Claire cornered me in the hallway. "You didn't have to take everything." "I didn't take everything," I said. I took responsibility. "You tried to take the truth." Back home, I opened the lake house for the first time since the funeral. Dust motes floated in the sunlight. His photograph still stood on the mantel beside his chipped mug. "Failure is tuition," I whispered, tracing the frame. "And I used the lesson." I changed the locks. Not to shut people out, but to keep order in. That night, I wrote 2 short emails. To the attorney. "Thank you. Please file closure with the clerk." To my family, "The court's decision is final. Boundaries remain." My father texted, "We can settle this privately." I replied, "Privately is how it went wrong. All contact in writing." I didn't move into the master bedroom that first night. I chose the smallest room. Grief sat quietly beside me, no longer screaming. In the morning, silver light spilled across the lake. I brewed coffee barefoot on the dock. I wasn't erased. I wasn't the daughter who never finished anything. I had finished the one thing that mattered. I had kept his promise alive. If you've ever had family try to erase you, to rewrite your story for their benefit, know this: you are not alone. Paper remembers what people forget. Dates and truth outlast manipulation, and sometimes justice isn't a gift. It's something you claim for yourself. Have you ever been betrayed by your own family? How did you fight back? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you reclaimed your truth. Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more real stories of betrayal, justice, and resilience.